So coming up next, Andrea, and we're all queued up and ready to go. Thank you so much for your presentation. You're on now.
Thank you. All right, so this is your governess. She scowls when you are in pain and you're running a race. She doesn't want you to go any faster. So we're gonna see if we can find a way to get around this. When you do go as fast as you want to go, this is you. This is really, really fast. This is the current world marathon record. And that guy is 36, which is awesome. He said it last year. So we're gonna come along and find out that this is a mile race. Notice how each lap gets slower until the last one. But why is the last one faster? If you're in so much pain, how can you get that extra edge and blow into the finish? So there's a guy named Hill, 1922, he said, well, maybe the brain's involved in that. And then a guy named Noakes, 75 years later, wrote a huge book talking about, yeah, Hill was right, and it's like 6 pounds. So your brain basically wants to make sure that you don't die, because then it'll die too. So it puts some things in place that will keep you from dying, and it doesn't want you to bonk. Bonking is kind of painful if you're an athlete or you're a cyclist. It should be a familiar term. But your brain really does not want to get you to a point where you're like this guy. This is not too pretty. This could have been several reasons: dehydration, muscle cramping. But there's a thing that keeps you from getting that far usually. It's called the central governor. And it can fail. This is 1984. Google for this woman's name, Gabriella. She took 6 minutes to go around the track on her last lap and collapsed about 5 times. Her central governor failed her. And that's actually pretty rare, which is a good thing. This is a lot of data that supports the central governor theory. And if you like graphs, you should be very happy right now. But we can get it a little bit simpler than this. And essentially what it says is that if you have inputs coming into your brain that say, we're working really hard and it kind of hurts, and your brain says, well, I think this is okay, I don't think I'm gonna die, let's keep going. Eventually you're gonna get to the point where your brain says, well, maybe we should slow down because maybe we might do some damage. But if you can keep going, at that end you're gonna have enough to do that final sprint. And that's the key. So, being able to get there means that you can have a performance that breaks through. So essentially, you don't want to die, but your brain can be taught that you're not going to die at slightly higher levels of discomfort. So essentially, you can train your brain to say, I'm not ready yet. Now, this is the next generation of writing. This is new stuff. The Run book came out this year. This is a guy that basically said, here is exactly how to train yourself to manipulate your central governor. When it works, you get a performance like this. This is the women's marathon world record time. 5 minutes and 10 seconds per mile, by the way. So that's something that you want to do. Now, when you're training, how do we apply all this? First things first, start with the web, start with books. There's tons of forums online, people talking about how to train, and they're great resources because they're live. And of course, all the simple, normal training advice. Eat real food, eat enough. You can't eat as much as you want, unfortunately, but you do need to eat enough to support your training. And you need to be easy on your body. So this is a great technique to be able to squeeze a little bit more out of your joints. You can get more mileage, and it's not quite as much impact. So I think it actually works pretty well. But the other things that you need to do is you need to suffer in your training. And it kind of sucks, but it's true. If you suffer in your training, when the race comes, your brain is like, oh, I've been there. Okay, we're not gonna die, let's keep going. And if it works, you can end up like this. This is me, kind of pixelated, but this is me setting my half marathon PR. And I'm actually in a lot of discomfort right here, but I know I'm going to do it, so I'm smiling, so that's good. The nutshell is, if your brain thinks that you're going to be okay, you can succeed. If it's a new and unfamiliar discomfort, it's going to shut you down. So just no pain, no gain. Sorry.
Thank you so much for that.